Welcome back to the final segment of First Freedom Day. We've had such an amazing day today.
It's been awesome, and we've heard from so many important people to religious freedom around the country. We heard from Kelly Shackelford, who talked about the importance of faith and religious freedom to the American experiment that we're all a part of. But we also heard from the people who have been monumental as far as the impact of their cases at the Supreme Court. We got a brief greeting from Joe Kennedy, the coach who prayed on the 50-yard line out of Bremerton, Washington. His case didn't just win for him and the freedom to take a knee on the 50 after a game. It also changed the way that courts look at religious freedom cases all over the country in all different ways, in all different arenas. It got rid of something known as the Lemon Test, just smashed it flat, replaced it with something called the History and Tradition Test, which means we're just going to consider the history and tradition of this country when we consider cases like that. Huge impact all across the country. We also heard from Gerald Groff, a postal worker out of Pennsylvania, a humble, kind man who just wanted to not work on Sunday. His religious beliefs lead him to believe that he should honor Sunday by not working on that day. So he got a job at the post office because he thought they don't deliver on Sunday. That should work fine.
And then surprise.
But then Amazon started having the post office deliver packages on Sunday. He asked to opt out, and they went back and forth, back and forth. Finally, they forced him out of his job. He won at the Supreme Court, and that changed how the courts look at employment law when it comes to religious accommodation for all of us and our children and grandchildren. Huge impact with that. It changed the way that the law has been for decades and decades, and now it's going to be different moving forward. We also talked about the Carson v. Macon case, which is out of Maine, and it has to do with parents that wanted to send their kids to a Christian school. Maine doesn't have schools in all of those rural communities in the state, so they offer funding for you to go to the school of your choice, unless it's a religious school. And the parents, along with us, went to court over that, and they won on that one, which not only won the right for parents to be able to send their kids to school where they choose, and in this case, you know, the government has to treat the Christian schools the same as all the other schools, but it also meant that Christian organizations all over the country can have access to government programs. They should be treated just like any other group when it comes to asking for support for the work that they're doing in the community that otherwise they would be entitled to. So huge wins all the way across the board at the Supreme Court. And we talked about all those today, and that's what we're celebrating on this First Freedom Day.
Yeah, because we have more religious freedom than we've ever had in a lifetime. But at the end of the day, we still have cases that are pending, and we're still fighting these cases because we need to stay in the fight.
Yep.
So we heard from Jeremy even about Pastor Chris Avell and everything that's going on in Ohio when he was faced with criminal charges just because he wanted to feed the homeless and care for them and shelter them. And it's just so heartbreaking when you hear some of those stories. You'll want to check out that interview we did with already. But then we also heard from Dr. Johnson Varkey. He was fired just because he was a biology teacher that was teaching biology, and some people didn't like what he had to say, even though he was just saying the truth. So it's just been such an honor to stand beside some of these people and fight for their rights and for religious liberty.
And we also have a lot of younger faces around the building this summer. It's been good to see all of them. They're back here. You're going to see them in just a second.
Yeah, they're behind the scenes right now.
But we heard from some of our legal interns. We also have had the Shaftesbury Fellows here this summer as they do their studies here. And also we've had some interns here in the marketing area. And it's just brought a light to the place and a brightness to the place.
It's always fun.
And to hear about their stories and what they hope to do in the future. Same time, we also heard about a new initiative that First Liberty is doing. The short name is F3, which stands for Future of Faith and Freedom. And
you got it. Good job. Very
thank
nice.
you. I've been practicing. And the initiative is aimed at targeting people in their 20s, 30s, and 40s who care about these things, who are interested in religious freedom in the country and the impact of that on their children and ultimately their grandchildren. So if you know someone in your life who is in that age category, or maybe you are as well, we encourage you to connect with the Future of Faith and Freedom. Go to firstliberty.org/
F3.
F3, and you can find all the information there about that. So it's just been terrific to hear that. We are excited about the future because we have so many young people who are interested in the future of religious freedom in this country, and it's just good to know that this message is resonating with so many people.
And it's just such an amazing opportunity, and everything that's happening with F3 to get people to be educated and mobilized and know their rights and opportunities in the United States. And so it's such an awesome opportunity. And at the end of the day, a lot of things that people don't know is that we are a nonprofit at the end of the day. And so everything that we are able to do, everything that our attorneys are able to do, even with stepping in on behalf of pastors and churches, is because of the generous gifts of our supporters. So if you're one of those out there, we just want to say thank you, truly from the bottoms of our heart. We wouldn't be standing here today if it wasn't for you. So thank you so much. And of course, we do have that opportunity of the challenge grant, the $500,000 challenge grant, and your gift will be multiplied between now and June 30th. So thank you so much in advance. We've had an amazing day, and I'm going to go ahead and welcome some of our behind the scenes staff and interns onto the set. Yes, we have cupcakes because guess what? It's a party. We're going to celebrate our religious freedom in the United States. Wow. And George even has music. He has the music. We're ready to go. We're going to eat some cupcakes. Thank you again for joining us today on First Freedom Day 2024. We appreciate you. We're going to dive right into these cupcakes. They've been looking forward to these all day. We've been working hard all day, we've been saying, and those cupcakes are coming. So thank you again for joining us. First Liberty, fighting for what matters most.